SMEs often face challenges in establishing financial controls due to limited resources, informal operations, lack of training, and a couple of other reasons. I'm going to be looking at challenges in implementing financial controls and how these controls can be implemented by SMEs in order to avoid the risk of business failure in the near future. Follow me as I go into this round of presentation. Thank you. We all know that implementing financial controls can be challenging due to a lot of factors. But let's look at these factors and how they impact a small and mid-sized business. The first is limited resources. SMEs often operate with limited financial and human resources, and it can be difficult to even allocate the sufficient fund, the fund that is available. It can be difficult to allocate them across a lot of resources. So this to a large extent impacts financial controls in a business. The second challenge, or another challenge that SMEs face, is around lack of expertise. Now, a lot of business owners and even managers of these businesses do not have very strong background in finance and accounting. So this lack of experience or lack of expertise can lead to inadequate financial controls and a lot of oversight in the business. Remember, one common issue that many of these businesses have is that a lot is centered around the owners of the business. Now, these owners of the business try to manage it from a finance perspective and struggle with implementing effective controls within the business. The third point I would like to look at here is on complexity of regulatory requirements. So navigating the complex landscape of financial regulations can actually be impacting for a lot of SMEs. Now, compliance with various local, national, and international regulations requires thorough understanding of the legal environment, the business environment in which they are operating, and how to respond to a lot of these requirements. So you see a lot of SMEs shying away or trying to avoid all these regulatory requirements. So that poses an issue because there is no proper control in place. Resistance to change is another point I'd like to note here, because when you implement new financial controls, it requires changing existing procedures and even existing systems. Right? So you see employees and management resisting this change. Oh, you see people saying this is how we've been doing it before. This is how we've been doing it for over 30 years, and that's how we should continue to do it. So that's resistance to change, lack of understanding, or even fear of the unknown of what the new system entails impacts on the business. Furthermore, effective financial controls rely heavily on accurate and timely data, and we see a lot of SMEs face challenges in managing and maintaining data integrity due to inadequate data management systems. Cybersecurity threats, that's another area that we need to look at, because with the increase in reliance on digital systems, a lot of SMEs are vulnerable to cybersecurity threats. So protecting financial data from cyber attacks and ensuring that the financial system is properly secured is a major challenge for these businesses. Why? Because one, the investment that is required, even the resources from a human resource point of view is also limited when you look at the SME space. The next point I want to talk about is scalability. As SMEs grow, the financial control system needs to scale accordingly. So ensuring that this financial control remains effective and relevant to the business expansion can be very challenging. We see a lot of SMEs struggling to adapt their financial controls or their control systems to accommodate the growth, the next level of growth that the business actually needs. Balancing control and flexibility will be the last point I'm going to talk about here. SMEs need to strike a balance between implementing strict financial controls and maintaining operational flexibility. So we see a lot of instances where there are rigid controls that impacts innovation. It slows down decision making in these businesses. So finding the right balance is very crucial for the success of financial controls in SMEs. So the main objective I want to achieve here is driving the point home, and that point is really understanding and addressing what these challenges are. As an SME, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you need to understand what these challenges are as it relates to financial controls, and how you can now develop and implement controls that would be able to support your business, support growth, and support sustainability. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking about overcoming these challenges and implementing financial controls in a small and mid-sized business. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening, and do have a great one.